We continue now at the top of Daf Bava Metzia Bava Metzia. This is Bava Metzia Daf 86b. On the previous summit, the Gemara asked, why does the Mishnah seemingly bring a story that contradicts the principle in the Mishnah? The principle in the Mishnah is that it follows the local custom. Everything follows the local custom in terms of what is provided to workers. And then we have a story in the Mishnah which talks about the fact that even if you would provide the workers with a meal of Shlomo HaMelech, it would not be enough. And so the Gemara says what the Mishnah really means is that the Mishnah is missing some words, and it means that if the person stipulated that he would give the workers food, so then Riva Lahen, then it's implied that he's giving more than what the local custom is. As Rashi says, Riva Lahen Yoser Alaminik, he must be giving them more than the custom. To Kevin the Lotzarach Lasnui, because since no condition needs to be made, you always follow the local custom without even making that condition. V'yasni, but this person actually stipulated, Mizona Yiseri Kamer, must mean that he's stipulating to give them extra food, and that's what the story is being brought for. Umaysanami Rabbi Yochanan ben Masechet, there was a story with Rabbi Yochanan ben Masechet, Sha'amar Levno, he said to his son, Tzei Sechor Lanu Poelim, go and hire for us workers. Halach Upasak Lehen Mizonos, he went and he arranged that he would provide Mizonos for them. Ucheshaboy, it's a love it. When he came to his father, Amar Lo, he said to him, B'ni, my son, Afilu Ata Osolem Kesuda Shlomo V'Shaitu, even if you make for them like the meal of Shlomo HaMelech when he was king, Lo Yotzes Yidei Chovas Chimoin, you have not fulfilled your obligation with them, Shein B'nei Avram, Yitzchak V'Yakov, because they are the children of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And the Gemara says, "Lemeimer de Sudasa de Avram Avinu adifa mi de Shlomo." Does this mean to say that the meal of Avram Avinu was greater than that of Shlomo? V'achsib, but it's written in the pasuk in terms of the meal of Shlomo HaMelech. It says, "Vahilechem Shlomo liyom echad." It was the bread of Shlomo for one day. Shloshim kor. It was 30 kor solus, a fine flour, v'shishim kor kemach, and 60 kor of flour. Asara bakar b'riyim, 10 cattle that were healthy. V'yesrim bakar re'i, and 20 cattle that were out to pasture. Umeyatzon, and 100 sheep, levad me'ayel utzvi v'yachmor uvarvurim avusim, besides for hearts, gazelle, roebucks, and fattened fowl. V'yomar Gurion ben Astion mishmei derav, and Gurion ben Astion said in the name of Rav, halalu la milon shel tabochim. These measures of flour were for the well-worked dough. It was essentially to absorb the steam. For Rav Yitzchak Amar, and Rav Yitzchak says, halalu letzike kedeira. The flour was for the pudding in the pot. V'yomar Rav Yitzchak, and Rav Yitzchak said, elef nashim hayu l'shlomo. Shlomo HaMelech had 1,000 wives. Kolachas v'yachas asta lo bevei sakach. Each one of them made a meal in her house like this. My time, and what's the reason? Zu sevura shema etzli soet hayom, v'zu sevura shema etzli soet hayom. This one thought maybe he'll eat by me today, and this other one thought maybe he'll eat by me today. Whereas by Avram Avinu, Ksiv, it's written, V'yal habakar rotz Avram, it says that Avram ran to the cattle, V'yikach ben bakar rach v'tov. He took a calf that was tender and good. V'yomer Rav Yehuda marav, and Rav Yehuda said that Rav said ben bakar echad. When it says ben bakar, it means one. Rach means shnaim, he took 2 animals. V'tov shlosha, when it says tov, it means he took 3 animals. And so therefore it seems that the meal of Avram was certainly less than the meal of Shlomo. And the Gemara answers, Hasam over there by Avram, Tlasa Ture L'Tlasa Gavre. It was 3 oxen for 3 people. But over here, L'chol Yisrael of Yehuda, was for all of Yisrael and Yehuda. Shenemar, as it says, Yehuda v'Yisrael Rabim Kechol, Asher Al Ayam. Yehuda and Yisrael were many, like the sand by the sea. And the Gemara continues, My barburim avusim, what does it mean, fattened fowl? Amar Rav says, Sha'ofsim osan bal karchan, that they fattened them against their will. Ushmuel Amar, and Shmuel says, Sha'avusim v'omdim me'alem, they were fat on their own. For Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, Mevi'in tormi mariso, b'delo honest. They would bring an ox from the place where it was grazing, and it was never forced to work. That's why it was such fine cuisine. V'tarnagoles me'ashbasa b'delo anisa. Similarly, they brought the hens, and those also, they were not forced to lay eggs, and therefore, again, that's why it was considered to be fine cuisine. And Rashi says, Barburim tarnagolin, that refers to the chickens. Again, the fowl, sha'ovsan osan bal karchan. They force-fed them, tochvin lehem machol b'fiyam b'chazaka. They forced the food into their mouths. And then we said that Tor, they brought a shore, an ox, b'delo onis. It was not forced, shalo asa malach, it didn't do any work. And b'delo anisa, also they brought the chickens, the hen from the coop. That also was not forced, begidel efrochin. It wasn't forced in terms of laying eggs. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, Muvchar shebebehemos shor, the choicest of the animals is the ox, and Muvchar shebeofos tarnagolas, the choicest of the birds is the hen. And the Gemara continues, Amar Ameimar says, we refer to Zagsa uchmesa beibatanisa, we refer to the black hen that is fattened, the mishtacha beinei atzrei, that is found among the wine vats, lo matzia pas yakana, that it cannot walk even the amount of a reed. And Rashi explains, Zoksa Tarnagola, Zoksa is a hen, Patanisa means Hamifatemes Babayis, that it's fattened in the house. Lashon Achar, another version is Batanisa, that's what we have. Balas Keres, it has a big stomach, it's fat. The Mishtacha Beatsure Ben Hagitos, it's among the wine vats. V'ocheles HaCharsonim, it eats the grape seeds. The Lomatzi Pas Yakana can't take a step, even a reed. She'ini Yechol Lifsoa Kana Merov Shaman, it's so fat that it can't walk. That is what we are referring to when we talk about the fine cuisine of the hen. And the Gemara continues, Ve'el habaka ratza Avraham. We quoted the pasuk before that Avram ran to the cattle. Amar Rav Yehuda Marav. Rav Yehuda said that Rav said, Ben bakar echad rach shnayim v'tov shlosha. When it says Ben bakar, it means one animal, rach means two animals, tov means three animals. And the Gemara says, V'ei machad. Well, why don't we just say that it's all one animal, and it's describing the animal. Kedamri inchi, like people say, rochich v'tav. It's tender and good. And the Gemara says, Im kain lichtov rach tov. If that was the case, it would have written rach tov. My vitov. Why does it say vitov with a vav? Shma mino l'drasha. You see that it's to make this drasha, that it means more than one animal. The Gemara says, Eimatrei. Well, if it's just vitov, so then we should say two animals, not three animals. And the Gemara says to that, midatov l'drasha, from the fact that the word tov is meant for drasha purposes. Rachnami l'drasha. So too the word rach is meant for drasha purposes. And the Gemara continues, Mesiv Rabba Barula. Rabba Barula asks the following question, V'itemer Rav Hoshia, some say it's Rav Hoshia that asks. V'itemer Rav Nasim Rav Hoshia, some say it's Rav Nasim Rav Hoshia that asks the following question. The pasuk says, Vayiten halanar vayemaher lasos oso. It says he gave it to his servant, and he was quick to make it, and it sounds like it's just one. Lasos oso sounds like one animal, not multiple animals. And the Gemara says, Kol chad v'chad yohave lenar chad. Each animal was given to one servant, meaning he had three animals and three servants. And the Gemara says, Vayika chema v'cholav uven habakar asher asa vayiten lefneim. It says that he took the chema and cholav and the ben habakar. Again, it sounds like one animal that he placed before them. And the Gemara again answers, the kama dematya aisi l'kamayu. Each one, as it was ready, he brought it before them. So again, there's really three animals. And the Gemara says, V'lamali tlas, but what do we need three animals for? Tiski b'chad, shouldn't one be sufficient? You only have three people to feed. And the Gemara says to that, Amar Rav Chanan bar Rava. Rav Chanan bar Rava says, Kedei la'achilon shalosh l'shonos bechardel. It's in order to feed them three tongues with mustard, so you needed three different animals. Amar Rabbi Tanchem bar Chaniloi. Rabbi Tanchem bar Chaniloi says, Li'olam al yishana adam en aminag. A person should never deviate from the local custom. Sharei Moshe ola l'morim v'lo achal lechem. Because Moshe, he went up to the heavens and he didn't eat bread. Malachei Asharis, and then when the angels, Yardu Lamata, when they came down by Avram, V'yachlu Lechem, they did eat bread. You see, you have to follow the minhag of the place where you are. The Gemara says, V'yachlu Sal Kadaitach, do you really think that the angels ate? That doesn't make sense. And the Gemara says, Ella, rather, Eimon Niru Kamisha Achlu V'shasu. Rather say it means that it appeared as though they were eating and they were drinking. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Yehuda Marav. Rav Yehuda says, the Rav says, Kol Masha Asa Avram L'malachei Asharis Biatzmo Asa HaKadosh Baruch Hu Levanav Biatzmo. Anything that Avram did for the angels himself personally, so that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for his children personally. V'chol Masha Asa Avram Al Yedei Shliach, and anything that Avram did through a messenger, through an agent, Asa HaKadosh Baruch Hu Levanav Al Yedei Shliach. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu did that for the Bnei Yisrael, also through a shliach. And the Gemara gives examples. V'el habakar ratza Avram. It says that he ran to the cattle. V'ruach nasa me'es Hashem. It says that the ruach came, it traveled from Hashem, and that was directly from Hashem. V'yikach chema v'cholav. It talks about the fact that he took the butter and the milk, and it says hineni mamtir lachem lechem in Hashemayim. It says that I'm going to give you bread from the heavens. V'omed aleim tachas ha'etz. He stood over them under the tree. The pasuk says hineni omed lefanecha sham al atzur. I'm going to stand by you by the rock. V'Avram holech imam l'shalcham. Avram went with them to send them. V'Hashem holech lefneim yomam. Hashem walked in front of them in the day. Yukach no me'at mayim. Take a little water. V'hikisa batzur. And you should hit the rock. V'yatzu mimenu mayim v'shasa ha'am. And then the water will come out and the people will drink. Meaning by yukach no me'at mayim, it was not done directly by Avram, and therefore also the water was not done directly by Hashem. It was done through an agent. And the Gemara continues, Upliga de Rab Chama bar Rab Chanina. This argues on Rab Chama bar Rabbi Chanina. The Yam Rab Chama bar Rabbi Chanina v'cheintana de Rabbi Shmuel. Rab Chama bar Rabbi Chanina says, and it's also taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Shmuel, B'schar Shlosha zachu l'shlosha, as a reward for three things. That's why they merited the following three things. B'schar chema v'cholav, as a reward for chema v'cholav, zachu l'man, that they merited the man. B'schar v'hu omed aleihem, because of the fact of, as a reward for the fact that he stood over them, zachu l'amad ha'anan, they merited the amad ha'anan, the cloud in front of them. And b'schar yukach nami atmayim, as a reward for take some water, zachu l'be'era shel Miriam, they merited the well of Miriam. And Rashi explains, Me'es Hashem, again, if it was done directly by Avram, so then it was done directly by Hashem. Could go and salvim hegis bi'atzma, like for example the slav that was brought by Hashem, but yukach nami atmayim, when it came to the water, which was al yedei shliach, that was through an agent, so too this was an agent. And then the Gemara said that the above argued with Reb Chama bar Reb Chanina, who said that zachu l'shalosh, it was because of three things that they merited three things, meaning shalosh matana shenitnu lahem b'midbar al yedei Moshe v'Aaron. There were three gifts that were given to them in the wilderness through Moshe and Aaron. Zachu la'amud anan, they merited the anan. Omeid aleim tamid, the anan was always in front of them. Kedechsiv anoncha omeid aleim, it says that your cloud is going to stand upon them. Lebe'era shel Miriam, and then they merited the well of Miriam. Hainu nami v'kisa batzur, that was because of the striking of the rock. And the point, says Rashi, is uvi amud anan pligi. They're arguing in terms of what was the amud anan, what was that a reward for. And Rashi is referencing the fact that according to Reb Chama bar Reb Chanina, v'hu omeid aleim, it's because of the fact that Avram stood over them. That's why zachu la'amud ha'anan, that's why they merited the amud ha'anan. Whereas we said before that v'hu omeid aleim, the fact that he stood over them, that parallels hineni omeid lefanecha shamal atzur, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to stand before you by the rock. And the Gemara continues, the pasuk by Avram says, Yukach nami atmayim, take some water, v'rachatzu raglechem, and wash your feet. Amr Rabbi Yanai Rabbi Yishmael says, Amru lo, they said to him, V'chi ba'arviyim chashadetanu shemishtachavim lavak ragleim, do you suspect that we're like Arabs who bow by the dust of their feet, they worship Avodah Zarah? Kvar yotzu mimenu Yishmael has already come from him, meaning Yishmael does these kind of things, and he has come from you. And the Gemara continues, Vayero elav Hashem be'ilone mamre v'hu yoshe pesach ha'oel kachom hayom. And the pasuk says that Hashem appeared to him in elone mamre, and he was sitting at the entrance of his tent at the heat of the day. Mai kachom hayom, what does it mean at the heat of the day? Amar Rabbi Chama bar Rabbi Chanina says, Oso hayom yom shlishi shel milo shel Avram haya. That day was the third day from the bris milah of Avram. Uva HaKadosh Baruch Hu lishol bi Avram, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to inquire after Avram. Hotzi HaKadosh Baruch Hu chama min artika. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the sun out of its sheath, meaning to make it a very hot day, kadesh lo yatriach oso tzadik bo'orchim, so that this tzadik, he shouldn't be burdened with guests. Shadrei Eliezer, so Avram sent Eliezer, his servant, lemeipak livra, to go to the outside to find guests. Nafak v'lo eshkach, he went out, he didn't find any. Amar, he said, meaning Avram said, Lo mehemnelach, I don't believe you that you didn't find any guests. Hainu damri taman, that's what they say over there in Eretz Yisrael, leis hemnusa ba'avde, that you can't trust slaves. That's the same expression as what Avram was saying. Nafak iu, he went out, chazil HaKadosh Baruch Hu, tekoya above, he saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was standing at the entrance. Hainu dichsiv, and that's what it's written, al no savor me al avdecha, don't pass from your servant, meaning to say HaKadosh Baruch Hu was present, he was there at that time. And then the Gemara says, Kevan dechaza deka'asar v'shari, when he saw that he was tying and untying the bandages of the milah, Amar, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, La'avor acharu l'meik amhacha, it's not proper derech eretz to stand over here. And hainu dichsiv, that's what it means when it's written in the pasuk. It says, Vayisa ina vayar v'inei shlosha anoshim nitzavim olav. It says that there were three men standing over him as if they were right there. But then it says, Vayar vayaretz l'krasim. It says that he saw and he ran towards them as if they weren't right over there. And the idea is exactly that. Meikara asu kamo aleh. Originally they were standing right by him. Ki chazyu dahavalei tzara. When he saw that he was in pain from the milah, Amru, they said, La'avor acharu l'meik amhach. It's not proper derech eretz to stand over here. And the Gemara continues, Man and Ninu Shlosha Anashim, who were these three men that came? They were Michal v'Gavriel u'Rafal. They were the angels Michal, Gavriel, and Raphael. Michal Shabal Vaser as Sarah. Michal came, he came to inform Sarah that she would have a child. Raphael Shabal Rape as Avram. Raphael came to heal Avram from the Milah. And Gavriel Azal Mahafche Lestom. Gavriel came to overturn Sodom. And Rashi says, V'rachatzu raglechem v'ishanu tachas ha'etz. He said to wash their feet. Shelo yachnas avodah zarah v'soch beiso. That way they won't bring an avodah zarah into his house. Shoarviyim regilan l'shtachavos lavak raglein v'hein nidmu lo karviyim. Because the Arabs, they would bow by the dust of their feet, and these men appear to be like Arabs. Kvar yotzim imenu Yishmael. But the response was, what do you suspect us of? On the contrary, you've already had Yishmael. Mimcha yotzah haragel lasos kain. It's from you, the person who regularly does that. Hotzi chama min artika. It said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the sun out of its sheath. Lazriya chama bekoach, so the sun would shine with strength. Shelo yovrei derachim mitzuyim. That way people wouldn't wouldn't pass by, there wouldn't be guests. Tamon Amri Beretz Yisrael, there they say, again in Eretz Yisrael, they have an expression about not trusting the slaves. Kevan de Chazah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Ka'asar Avram es Milaso. Once HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Avram was tying the bandages of his Milah, Vishari, and untying the bandages, Zamar, he said, Lavo Recharu Lamek Amhacha, it's not Derecher, it's to stand over here. And Hainu Demei Kark Ksiv Nitzav Malav, that's why originally it says they were standing over him. Ulavasov Ksiv Vayoretz Likrasam, and then at the end it says that he ran towards them. And the Gemara continues, Vaksiv, but isn't it written in the pasuk Vayavo Shnei HaMalachim Sodom Berev? It says that two of the angels went to Sodom. It was not just Gavriel that overturned Sodom, it was two of the angels that did it. And the Gemara answers to that, the Azal Michal Bahadei Michal went together with Gavriel, L'Shezvei L'Lot, he went there to save Lot. And the Gemara says, Dekanami, we can bring a proof as well, because it's written in the pasuk Vayafo Chesar Mil, it says that he turned over the cities. That's singular, it indicates one angel. V'Loksiv Vayehafchu, it doesn't say they did it. Shema Mina, you see from there that it was one angel that overturned Sodom. You see that it was Gavriel that overturned Sodom. And the Gemara continues, Ma'ishna lagabe Avram d'chsiv kein tasek asher dibarta. What's the difference by Avram? The angels immediately agreed to stay with him. We're going to do like you said. U'ma'ishna lagabe Lot d'chsiv. And what's the difference by Lot where it is written? And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Pei Zayin Amud Aleph.